Are you tired of people letting you down? Is it feeling like you just can't trust anybody because everyone's looking out for themselves and no one has your best interest in mind? Nobody's thinking about you, nobody's tripping off of you. It seems like you can't you can't give nothing to nobody because all they're going to do is disappoint you. And let me just tell you that most often than not they are. They are. I have this interesting story that I actually thought about today that I felt like I needed to share. It is something that happened this year, which is business. It's a business thing, and it's also a relationship thing that really like puts this into perspective. So I started off the year styling people. I started off as I started off as a stylist. And so I was really starting to build my clientele as a stylist because the year before that, I was doing fashion design, and I was more so creating the clothes, right? Actually, I'd taken a break. Lord Jesus, life is, there's been so much happening in life. Anyway, I am a stylist now, and I'm trying to build up my clientele and really figure out what this looks like for me as a business. Because I had never really considered myself to be a stylist. Honestly, like I just never really wanted to be anywhere near styling people, which is a whole other story for another live. But I started off as a stylist, and so this is important for me to mention because with me being new in the styling space and really owning the title as a stylist, there were some insecurities that I had around styling people. I feel like I might not be good enough at it. Feeling like I might be a fraud who is only good at styling myself but not good at styling other people. And so, a lot of different things were really competing with me in owning this role as a stylist. So when I started getting clients, I had a lot of times where I wouldn't feel confident. I wouldn't feel secure in what I picked out for them. Sometimes until I saw them in it. I had to really just have faith. Like, I believe this is going to look good on you, and I had to have the faith for them because they're putting their style in my hands for really important events. So I didn't take this role lightly. So I had a client who was also a friend, and so we developed a friendship first, but she also hired me on as a stylist. So we were working together for a good chunk of this year. And so there was a particular event that she wanted me to style her for. And it was big for her because she was going to be meeting a really important person, like her not an idol, but just like a really important person. And it was going to be public. There's going to be people there that she met online that she was going to be reconnecting with. And so it was just a really big opportunity to be seen and to dress in a way where she felt like she really was confident in what she had to put on. So, knowing that this was a big event for her, I naturally wanted to put her in something that I felt was going to be challenging, but also something that really helped her to see herself the way that I saw her. So that was my heart going into it. But when it comes to styling people, one of the things that I have learned is that you do have to take into consideration that putting on clothes is not just putting on clothes. Like, it's not just a physical act. You got to think about the way that the relationship that people have with clothes, the relationship they have with fashion. Do they feel comfortable with their body? Like, what things come up for them when they put on certain things? What parts of their body might they identify as places that they are not confident in, or that they don't like, or that they just flat out hate? Like, let's be real. Like, there's parts of your body that you might hate. Maybe you feel too old to be wearing something or too young to be wearing something. Like there's just so many different factors that go into our style. And so I did not take into consideration a certain aspect of this process for her. So I was responsible for finding the outfit for her and I was going to gift it to her. So uh, I was going to be responsible for getting the dress to her doorstep, finding it, picking it out, and getting it to her. And so I took that on, and I took that on, and that was not the problem. But what the issue ended up being is that she was starting to feel concerned because it was getting closer to the event and I had not picked out the outfit for her yet. Like she hadn't got the outfit yet. She didn't have a chance to put it on. And so she felt like she would be more secure and she would feel more comfortable if she had an opportunity to put it on ahead of time, because her thinking is that if this doesn't work out, I need to have a backup plan, because she's so used to being disappointed by the clothes that she gets. Like, just being let down by it not fitting right, by it not looking right on her, maybe putting it on and feeling discouraged by it. So she wanted to have time to prepare herself for that. But on my end, I'm thinking, well, it's going to get there. I'm pretty confident that it's going to fit well. I believe you're going to look good in it. And I'm just riding on faith on this one. Like, I just feel like it's going to look good on you. It's going to be fine. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It'll be there in enough time for you to pack it in the bag and go. And so right there, we had a disconnect because she felt more comfortable having the outfit prepared ahead of time so she could get herself, like she could feel confident in what it was. And my thinking is it doesn't matter. You're going to put it on. So we had a conversation kind of leading up to it. She asked if I had it ready, if I had the outfit ready. And so I let her know that I did not have it yet. They hadn't shipped yet. Forgive me, I gotta fix this. It's bothering me. She asked if I had it shipped already. And I let her know. I was like, no, it's not. It hasn't shipped out yet. And this is maybe like 2 weeks before the event. And so it was getting close to the time and she was worried. And so she, after like us talking a little bit more, it came out that she was disappointed in me. She was upset with me because she felt like she was trusting me to get this done. And I let her down because I did not, it was getting close to the time and she didn't have an outfit yet. So when she first told me that, my first instinct was to start to like doubt myself. I was like, wow, like, am I meant to do this? Like, if I'm over here letting people down and disappointing them, like maybe I shouldn't, I shouldn't do this. I took it all in and like really started to internalize it and take it as like, oh, maybe I'm not meant to do this. Maybe I'm not good at this. And it took me a minute to kind of process that. And I had to come back to her and let her know, first of all, apologize because I didn't have it to her earlier. I apologized to her for that and acknowledged that I understood that she would feel comfortable having had the opportunity to try it on and see how she felt in it, because she was worried. She was worried, which is understandable because that is the experience that she's had with clothes so far. She's just been used to being disappointed by them. And so I acknowledged that. And I also let her know that the expectation that she had for me was not communicated. Like she didn't let me know that she didn't let me know that, first of all, that I had disappointed her. Like, I guess she didn't have time to process that, but regardless of what the reason was, it's just what happened, right? So she that I let her know that she didn't let me know. I didn't know that you were feeling this way. I didn't know until now that this is what you were feeling, and I didn't understand that you needed that time to actually try the clothes on because of your experiences with clothes in the past. So I didn't know that, I didn't realize that's what was going on. And so it was one of those things that was kind of unavoidable. It could have been avoidable, but it wasn't, because this was the first time it really had come up. So it was a learning experience for both of us when it came down to it. But we ended up having that conversation. I expedited the dress to her so she could try the dress on a few days before the event. And when she tried it on at first, she hated it, which was almost like almost took me back to those same thoughts of like, oh my God, I'm a fraud. Why did I do this? Like I don't know what she's going to put on if she doesn't do it. Like that was like where I was trying to go back to. But then I had to kind of like, I had to remember, like, Jada, you do know what you're talking about. You're good at this, and she looks good in that dress. So I let her know. I was basically like, you know what? You're taking the dress with you regardless. Whether you decide to wear it or not, the dress is going in that bag. You're taking it with you because you look good in it. And so what ended up happening is she hated the dress at first. She swore up and down she wasn't going to wear it. Then we come back and she tries the dress on again. And this time she tried it on and she accessorized it. So she tried it on, she styled it. She put on like some undergarments that she felt comfortable with. And she had a fanny belt bag that she put on with the dress. And so she just like really styled it and made it her. And she looked amazing in it. And not only did she look amazing and feel amazing in it, but everyone else told her she looked amazing in it. So it was really like, nah, it's solidified. This is it. This is that deal. And so it was a great experience for both of us because it affirmed in me that I know what I'm doing. I'm good at this. I'm made for this. And it showed her that she does look good. She has the ability to look good, and that it gave her a new experience when it came to fashion, especially dresses, because dresses was like the thing that she really was not feeling when we first started working together. So her being in a dress, just a dress, was a big deal. So it ended up being one of those things where we took a moment where we were disappointed by unmet expectations, and we turned it into something where we actually grew in our trust in one another. We ended up developing an even stronger relationship from it, and it was I felt like it was handled really well. And so I think I'm talking about that because I feel that especially for myself and maybe for you too, that having those unmet expectations from people and letting it develop into resentment and bitterness is really easy to do. But I would encourage you to think about it. First of all, if you can, I really would encourage you to try to think about it from their perspective and try to put yourself in their shoes and see where they're coming from with the things that they're doing. Because it's going to help soften your heart. It's going to help kind of like offset some of the resentment and the anger and the frustration that you're feeling. And also to think about if the expectation that we're putting on people is even fair. Is it fair to put this on them? Is it fair to put certain expectations on ourselves? And are they realistic expectations? And when we think about that, I believe that more often than not, we're going to find that those expectations were not fair. They weren't reasonable. And if they were reasonable, we maybe didn't express them. Did we ever tell them this is our expectation? Did we talk about this? We have things that we have in our hearts that we feel should happen, but we don't tell people these things because it requires us to be vulnerable and tell people, you hurt my feelings. You hurt my feelings when you did this. Or you might be honest and then you might realize no, I probably didn't handle this the best way. And so you have to even be vulnerable and saying, I was wrong in placing this on you. There's so many different ways that it can go. But I believe that when we approach expectations and failed expectations in this way, that it allows us to build better relationships and to take ourselves out of this place of feeling like no one cares about us and no one loves us, because it's not true. It's not true. And if you are in a place where you don't have that nearby, or maybe you don't have that relationship right now, I want you to know that you always have that with God, regardless. That is always first and foremost. And that if you pray and ask Him for those relationships, He will give them to you, because He desires for you to have that, because it is important for us to have those types of relationships where we feel loved and cared for and accepted. So go into this holiday season with that in mind. I pray that you are able to release the bitterness, the resentment, the unforgiveness. Let it all go. Let it all go. There's no space for it anymore, because you have so many greater things you need to have the capacity to do. And all of that is just going to drag you down. So that's what I wanted to share tonight. I am going to also be honest and let y'all know that I did not go live yesterday. I was going to post a video that I did, a live video that I did on building your confidence and your self-esteem. I'm still going to post that video, but we're going to have to figure out, because I don't have enough storage on my phone. The storage on my phone won't let me save it. So once I figure that out, that'll be out, it'll be live, and it'll be so good, because it's actually practical steps that you can use that are going to build your confidence and your self-esteem, because you're going to also need that in order to make your goals happen next year and forever. So confidence, forgiveness, self-esteem, it all go together real bad. Okay? So I really want to make sure that that's out and available. So when it's up, it'll be up and it'll be stuck, and you'll see it on the channel. But until then, I love y'all, and I will talk to you later.